More girls and women are affected by FGM in the UK than in any other country in Europe. An estimated 140,000 women and girls who live here had to go through it. Many of them are migrants from Africa. I meet Nimco. She came to the UK from Somalia as a little girl. But during a summer trip to their home country, the family decided to have her cut. She was 7 years old.
Yeah. This is Zoe.
Hi, yeah, I'm myself.
25 years later, she's now an outspoken activist who's changed the tone of the debate on FGM in Britain.
It was very much something that identified you, and I used to think, well, I've had FGM, I'm over it, and now I'm getting on with my life. And I really wanted that conversation to carry on, but then I realised that if I did not come forward and say, hey, I'm one of the people that's had it, but I'm also on the other side, then people were thinking, well, if you could have FGM, then it could be anywhere. And I'm like, exactly. It's nothing to do with not being educated to all these things. It's to do with the lack of agency within girls and within, like, girls being protected. But I know a lot of women in this room have been, like, been through so many things, and I want to give them the confidence, them and also everybody else, that it's not you that's at fault, it's the society and that issue that's at fault, and you can get over it. I don't know, it's just normal things, really key to the issue.
Female genital mutilation was made illegal in the UK in the 1980s. But in some parts of London, the proportion of women cut is estimated at up to 5%. The highest rate is in the borough of Southwark in South London. During summer vacation, young girls are often sent back to the home country of their parents and cut there.
Apparently 5% of women, that's the estimate around here, have been affected by it, yeah.
Bruh, no, I would never do that, ever, ever, ever. So how do they even get, pleasure afterwards, cutting it off?
I wouldn't accept it in this country because it's not part of the culture here in the UK, so I wouldn't really accept it. But if people are against it because they're doing it in Africa, I think they should, this is the culture. So we can't leave our country and then go to other people's country and tell them what to do. They've been doing it for years, so.
It's sheer ignorance. It's nothing to do with religion. It's nothing. I don't think it's anything to. Well, if it is something to do with culture, it's a crass culture. That I can't find the right adjective, but it's culture that needs to go.
I learn about the devastating psychological effects of FGM from this young woman. 9 years ago, she left her home in Gambia and freed herself from a forced marriage. Fearing the hatred and hostility of her family and the African community, she wants to remain anonymous. This is the first time she tells her story publicly.
He said that we're going to have a party. We're going to buy a nice dress for you. I used to love banana. They told me they're going to buy a banana for me, so I just follow her. We get into a car, then we go. They left me with that lady and her friends. So they undressed me. I was naked. They put me down on a floor. I lie there like this, face up. I was lying on my back. So they hold my hand. Somebody have to sit here.
Someone pinned you
Yeah,
down?
pinned me down, and somebody was holding my leg. One is holding this one is holding that one. They just caught. I can't remember what type of knife do they use, but they use knife.
What were you feeling at that?
The pain. And I didn't see anyone that I know, and I was young because I was 7, nearly 8. Mm-hmm. So I need someone at least that I know, but no, I'm just seeing strangers.
And they just left you there on the floor still?
Yeah, they just left me there, and they took the other one. I was the first to do, and they took the other one. So that one was bleeding, but they didn't care. One died when she was getting her first baby, and the only one left in that group. And the only one left in that.
So we'll stop for a bit.
When I'm having sex, like, you know, people like they cry because they like, because of pleasure. For me, I cry because it's painful. For the past 2 years, I didn't have sex because it's so painful, I can't. So any man that I met, he will just sleep with me for once, that's it. He will not want to see me again, and blood coming out of me. Still now, I know that one, I will live with it for the rest of my life. I never tell it to anyone, unless doctors.
The young woman has applied for asylum in Britain. She doesn't want to go back to Gambia under any circumstances. She's afraid her father will kill her. Men play a decisive role when it comes to upholding the abuse that is FGM. Solomon is one of the few male activists who fight against FGM. He's regularly trying to convince men to spare their daughters.
How many people have good TV say, take my country? Yeah.
Why do you think it's important for men to get involved in the fight to stop this?
Yep, because I have always argued that FGM is done on women, but it's done for men. That is the underlying cause, the underlying reason, to control the sexuality of, you know, the woman, and so that she stays loyal and obedient to the man. Traditionally, FGM has been left to be seen as a woman issue. Yeah. Men never got involved, you know. So the men have willingly withdrawn themselves, and the women have happily continued that tradition. They don't get the men involved.
Yeah.
Okay? It is seen as a woman issue, not as a man's issue.
Business.
A woman's business. But when the man decides to step in, you know, breaking some kind of tradition and says, no, it needs to stop here, then I don't think they can fight back and stop that. That's not possible usually.
There are only a handful of women in the United Kingdom who openly address and combat FGM. Women like Alimatu have publicised the issue and put it on the political agenda. Now Alimatu is helping other women break the taboo as well, because most sufferers remain silent. They're afraid of how their communities will react.
Activists who speak out, I know of many who have to move away from their homes because they are seen as threats.
What does that backlash look like specifically?
I would give you from the sneers, like people walking in the street and going like this in your face, or getting eggs thrown at your face, this is literal. What? Or you have comments on social media, or you get letters in the post. So for any woman, they have to also be working and be faced with this reality that they are in. That I'm going to go back and face my family. I'm going to go back and face those people that I said have done this to me. And they want to be loved. They want to be cared for. They want to belong somewhere. Because what you don't want is to have women feeling even more so ostracized. Anything is like a...
Often Alimatu is the first stop for women who need assistance. The young woman who wishes to remain anonymous has contacted her, and with Alimatu's help, she managed to finally talk about the violence done to her.
What's your dream for the future?
Yeah, my dream is like to work like charities, helping girls. That goes like girls that they're forced to get married, or early marriages, or this FGM. I just want people to stop it. So I'm gonna like be an activist on that.
Why is that important to you?
Yeah, because I know what I go through, so I don't want people to be victims like me, or I don't know, victim survivors like me. I want to help survivors like me so that they can come out and speak to themselves.